Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Northwest Native Tracker, the channel that explores Bigfoot, ground spore, and native lore. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the reproductive cycles of Bigfoot and how they actually reproduce. I am able to speak pretty fluently on this subject because between 1968 and 1973 we had an Oh'ma Bigfoot female that lived on our ranch here in Oregon, and I was able to directly observe her during that time, and I regularly interacted and played with her, communicated with her, etc. So normally a larger primate like a gorilla or a chimpanzee will go through a springtime estrus. Their genitalia will swell up and they will have a period that will allow them to be fertile long enough to be impregnated. That is not the case with Bigfoot. Bigfoot are just like us. They can reproduce throughout the year, any time of the year. And they also have the same gestational period, 9 months. So every month I would watch Jen make a cord, and she would chart the days of the month, just like Native American women did with our moon cords. Today I made an example of one out of Johnson grass, just to show you how it's done. So this is a little, moon cord. Now, each day that you don't have a period, put your finger down, you make a knot. 1 day, 2 day, 3 days. When your period starts, you don't make any knots. You just leave the space for the fingers. It gives you how many days you would have had a period. And then when it's over, you make another little knot. That indicates the end of your cycle, and you're back to, regular living, as it were. That was something that Native Americans utilized as a way of plotting our, menstrual cycles. This is the same thing that Bigfoot does. Additionally, there's a little device that female Bigfoot use in order to remove clots from their fur, and it's this. They use looped grass that's just twisted back in itself. They take this loop, and wherever there is a clot, they remove it. Then they throw the clot and the grass loop away and continue on. In the event when Jen would do that on our property, she usually went back to the little spring and would also wash up several times throughout the day while she was menstruating. So she was very clean about her hygiene concerning her menses and her daily routine. She would wash her face, her hands, her rear end, and her feet every day in the morning. So she was very fastidious about being clean. And when the Gugway arrived, it was middle end of summer. He wasn't on our property until the end of July or 1st of August. He caught up with her, captured her, and molested her within the first 10 days or so that he was there. And by the 1st of September, she was impregnated by him. She didn't like that, and she didn't want the pregnancy. So she went back to our hemlock patch, and she ate a bunch of hemlock to poison herself severely enough that she could expel the pregnancy. Now that caused her to drool and shake for a couple of hours after the poison. She was impregnated approximately 2 months later, around November, but that fetus automatically expelled, probably because she still had a lot of the hemlock in her system. And then he was able to impregnate her again in early February. And the final pregnancy ended 5 months into it because he had beaten her up, and it had caused premature expulsion of the fetus because of the damage to her abdomen. So she could get pregnant at any time of the year. And all Bigfoot can get pregnant at any time of the year. They have a 9 month pregnancy. They do very similar things that we do. They have midwives. And if they don't have a midwife, then they'll go into the woods and use a squat tree like Native American women did. But I do know of at least one Skookum woman in this area that seems to act as a midwife if, for instance, a cord is wrapped around the neck of a baby. The Bigfoot will go to her, and they'll have her help them birth. Not uncommon to see that, but it's something you've got to learn about them. So there is no mating calls per se that they use. Normally they have arranged marriages, or they'll find a mate within their group. So they never have the necessity to try to go out and find a mate. But with Jen in her case, there wasn't any viable mate within her community because she was related to all of them, and she did understand the genetic factor of birth defects being on the rise if you try to mate with somebody who's too close a relative. So her family had turned her out to go find a mate. That's why she came to our property, started going up our oak trees and screaming, to attract a male. But the male does not scream back. He just observes where the scream came from. If he's interested in being married, he'll come, he'll look for the female that made the scream, he'll observe them, see if he likes their behavior or not, and if he thinks they're viable as a companion, he'll come up to them, he'll sneak up on them, and he'll coo at them, very close. I watched this occur at least 3 times with different male Bigfoot that came to our property to court Jen. The whole cooing, and then they would sit and talk. Sometimes some of the ones that came, there was a Skookum male that came. He was a very nice young boy, but too young in her opinion. They spoke for most of the day. Blanche, the same thing. When he came, he cooed at her and then spoke with her. And came back a couple times, and then they finally decided to get married. But that is how they actually reproduce. It's not a primate-like behavior at all. It is an incredibly humanoid-like circumstance. So I hope that clarifies that Bigfoot can become pregnant any time of the year. It is not based upon any kind of primate-like estrous cycle, and you will find evidence of both the moon cords and the little loops of grass with clots on them. In any of your research areas, you will be able to find that physical evidence because it will be present. So on that note, I think I'll let you go. I want to say thank you to Mr. Anonymous for his donation. I am now up to about 17% of my first portion of earnings to be raised for getting on the road. Thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot, and I appreciate everybody who has stuck with me and also donated and subscribed and liked my content and have shared it around. You're absolutely awesome. Thank you. So on that note, and without further ado, I'm going to let you have a great afternoon. And I'm going to leave up some more information for you on my Patreon page and my GoFundMe, and keep you updated throughout the summer as time goes on. So thank you, everyone, and I appreciate you. Have a good one.